Hey guys, thanks for joining me for another Dissidia Final Fantasy Opera Omnia video. Today we are going to do an updated character guide on Warrior of Light. Now the first thing I'll say is I know I didn't have music in the background, I didn't have music on my intro. I'm live streaming right now and we had some audio issues. I don't know why I'm getting a bunch of echo coming in the background, so I'm just recording without my desktop audio. So we will still have like in-game sound effects and stuff, but there won't be any music in the background unfortunately. But hopefully hearing the soothing sound of my voice will be enough to get y'all through this character guide here tonight. So very exciting. Warrior of Light just dropped with a rework. He just got his FR Echo, which is really awesome. So in this video, we're going to talk about his calls, his artifacts, his spheres. I'm going to demo his kit, show you guys all how he works. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and start with his calls. Warrior of Light actually does have pretty decent calls. So the big thing with his calls, his 15 puts his shield on, and his shield is like the most important part of Warrior of Light's kit. For those of you unfamiliar with him, he is basically a shield tank, and he's, I would say, the best shield tank in the game, for sure. He doesn't counter, so I've used him a lot less than characters like Gladio because I like the counter damage, but I think now with Echo, like, Warrior of Light's going to do a really good job because the Echo is going to give a lot of damage. His actual FR conditions are actually pretty good for the style of character that he is, right? So Shining Shield, the basic thing here is that you're getting a shield on the party, which is really nice. And then his LD call, it also will add shield. But the big thing is it also puts lock on the enemy. So having lock calls is very valuable. I've talked about this with Celis Call before, but there are characters in the game that cannot lock, but would really like to be locked. So an example would be like Kane or Freya. These are characters that they can jump up in the air, and if they have lock on, enemies will attack their spot, and they'll be up in the air, so it's a guaranteed miss, right? So there are characters like that would love that. I think Shadow's another character that could really get a lot of use out of locking, and he doesn't lock himself. So yeah, lock calls are actually very good. So I think his call does have value. You definitely could get some use out of that, right? Let's go ahead and take a look at Warrior of Light himself here. So let's go ahead and look at his artifacts. Now, the big thing with Warrior of Light, he does not have traditional artifact set. You know, your traditional artifact set would be like Attack 108 C50 or Attack 108 Max Brave 330. Warrior of Light's most important stat is Eye Brave. The reason why it's Eye Brave is because his shield skill on Eye Brave and a lot of his battery and brave gain skills on Eye Brave. So, like, pretty much everything he does, like, Eye Brave is what scales it. So you just want to go as much Eye Brave into this guy as you can. So what you want for his artifacts is you want Eye Brave 170 and then Class Change Boost 2-star. Class Change Boost is going to give him all stats 5% up. So that is literally the only combo you want. Like, I wouldn't mess with anything else. That is the exact combo you want for sure, because that way you're getting double Eye Brave buffs, and then the Class Change is giving you buffs for all the other stats as well. So that's 100% what you want to give this guy, right? Now on spheres, we can be a little bit creative with the spheres as well. And so why I like Warrior of Light is he can make use of spheres that normally aren't good or that other characters don't want because Eye Brave is his most important stat, right? So on the A slot, there are some Eye Brave spheres you can do. I opted for Machina, which is going to be Eye Brave and attack up. So like Jekt and Shantado, like those are other examples of like the Eye Brave spheres that you don't normally use. So it's a great spot to put some of those Eye Brave spheres, but make Eye Brave the most important stat here. So as long as you're getting Eye Brave, you're good. So yeah, this can be Eye Brave and attack 10% on Machina. So I really like that sphere here. B slot, there's two notable options. You could do something like Gladio. I think Gladio would be a decent one, but to me, my top choice here is Gabranth. And the reason why I think Gabranth on the B slot is so good, it's brave damage reduction for the party, right? And Warrior of Light's big thing is he's putting big, meaty shields. Well, how does the enemy get rid of the shields? They have to attack through it with brave damage. So essentially what Gabranth Sphere does is it makes your shields harder to take down. It makes the shields better. And the way I like to build my characters is I like to look at what does the character specialize in, what are they best at, and I like to emphasize that. Put more into that, not try to give them other abilities that maybe they're not as good at. So that's why I'm going all in on Eye Brave with everything, because Eye Brave is what Warrior of Light needs to be good. It's his most important stat. And here, his shields, that's his whole gimmick, and Gabranth Sphere is just going to make his shields better. So to me, that is best in slot on B. And then on the D slot, once again, I'm going for Eye Brave here. So I went with Aphmau, and this is a sphere I've never talked about because Eye Brave hasn't been the most important on some characters or just as a singular stat, right? So Aphmau here is a 10% Eye Brave up. This is the highest eye brave up you can get on a D slot, so that's the one I opted to go with. Now there are other D slots you could do that do like eye brave and max brave for like 5% or eye brave and attack. Those would be suitable as well, especially because it's going to give that to the party. So if you still want to have the attack on the party, you could do the eye brave attack for the party one. I don't remember exactly. Edward, I think, was one of them, right? So Edward, yeah, that's eye brave and max brave. So Edward's one of the good eye brave ones. And then I'll see if I can remember them off the top of my head here as I scroll through them. I don't deal with these ones as much, so I don't have them all memorized, right? Like I have the other ones. No, I don't think it was Saz. Saz was just attack, no. But you can look them up online too if you need to find them. But let me just check here really quick. Oh, Ramza. It was Ramza. Yeah, so Ramza is an eye brave, max brave one. So you could do Ramza is one of them. And I feel like there was one more, but I don't remember it off the top of my head. But you can just look through them, find anything with eye brave. That's what you want. But I think Aphmau, for buffing Warrior of Light specifically, Aphmau is the best because it's 10%. All the dual stat ones are only going to be 5%. So to me, I feel like something like this is like best in slot for spheres on this guy. Okay. Now something else before we hop into the showcase I want to talk about. Warrior of Light does have an extra weapon that you cannot summon for. So if we go into here, he does have the mannequin weapon, which is this dark weapon right here. These mannequin weapons are very good. They usually do like 10% buffs, so you definitely want to get this. There are two ways you can obtain this. Act 2, Chapter 5, you can get it in the story mode. You have to kind of complete that and move on to the next section. You can also just buy these for 10 power tokens. So if you want to buy those in the weapon shop, that's another place you can get it. But you definitely want to get that mannequin weapon. Let's check out how good does his FR look. That's okay. So I have the costume. I really like the red costume, and his LD is like perfect for the red costume. So that's what I'm rocking there. But we do have the Ultima weapon equipped. Blue armor. This literally is a maxed out Warrior of Light. The only thing I'm missing is the BT. I will say the BT is not super important for this guy at all. So do not stress if you don't get the BT, right? All right, with that, we're going to hop into a fight. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to hop into this very aggressive Ultimisia fight, and I'm not bringing like a full defense comp. Normally I run into here with a bunch of counter characters and stuff like that. I'm going to run in here with my normal like Penelo Garnet kind of offensive stop team comp, but then I'm running Warrior of Light to show how he can keep them protected, right? So let's go ahead and hop in. What I think I will do... I mean, I'll bring a friend unit just in case, so sure, we'll just grab a selfie. Hey, shout out to eDaddy who's watching the stream. eDaddy, we're going to rock your selfie in this video here. I don't know if I'll actually use it, but shout out to eDaddy for providing me with the selfie. Definitely will take that. Let's go ahead and hop in here. All right. So Warrior of Light, the big thing is you want to get his shields going and you want to get his lot going. So I usually open up with his Sacred Shield. We want to get that up right away. So yeah, we're just going to get attacked right away. And we don't have shields yet, right? So we got to get that up as soon as we possibly can. Let me see what I got for call. All right, I'm just going to throw a Raijin call on right away. Just because this is a very aggressive fight, right? So until we get set up with Warrior of Light, I just want to make sure we don't get interfered with here. So we'll pop that right away. We are going to go ahead and do normal Garnet setup. We'll do that. We'll go into the AA. And then we'll get Garnet's BT effect up right away. I'm actually really excited to see what Warrior of Light's numbers look like. Obviously, it's my first time using him. We literally just summoned for him, got him ready, hopped right into the showcase, right? Okay. Okay, perfect. All right, so we've got Warrior of Light up here. So usually I opt to get the shields up right away. So we are going to use the 15, which is Shining Shield. You can see we have 12 uses of it. So let's go ahead and pop that bad boy. Big, fat, meaty shields incoming. All right, 1.3 on a Shining Shield? That's pretty darn good damage. I mean, mine's a very maxed out Warrior of Light, but he's not known as a damage dealer, and he just did 1.3 mil on his shielding ability, right? So this does a party battery scaled off of Eye Brave, right? And then does that HP attack as you saw. And then he gets a Will of Light buff, and then it also does the shield buff to the party, right? Now, we do have to be careful in a team comp like this, because with Garnet and Penelo, and then if I've got like Selfie as a friend unit, like you can over buff. So you got to make sure these shields are up before you over buff. So So the shield basically will just nullify brave damage. And the shield size, like the amount of shield we get, is 500% of his eye brave. So the higher his eye brave, the better his shields are going to be. So that's why eye brave is so important. And then the Will of Light buff is a party attack and max brave up, and then it's brave regen for the party, and the brave regen scales off of eye brave. So once again, you're gonna notice the common theme. Eye brave is super important on this guy. All right, let's ramp a little bit. We won't go like all the way to town here. Okay. We'll just do a couple of ramps, and then we'll just do an attack here. Do I want BT? No, I don't want BT effect yet. I want to wait till I'm like done ramping, and then we'll do the BT effect. So yeah, let's go ahead and just do the LD here. Perfect. All right, so now what I'm going to do with Warrior of Light's second turn is we're going to put lock on, so that all single targets going to come at Warrior of Light. So what we're going to do that is we're going to do Throw Buckler. So let's see the damage here. So we get some battery. Yeah, dude, that was like 800k with some splash. Like, his damage is actually pretty good for what he is. That's awesome to see him get the damage, because his big weakness is he always kind of hit like a feather. But man, that's some good damage. So the Throw Buckler, we did a battery, which once again scales on Eye Brave, did the attack that you saw there. We also get the Will of Light buff that I just talked about. We get shields for 7 turns, we get Eye Brave up, and we get Elude for 3 turns. So Eye Brave up is Eye Brave 40%, and Elude gives us a 75% chance to evade debuffs. That's very good. So we've got some debuff evasion, and then it puts lockdown on the enemies as well, right? So a lot of good. So now Warrior of Light pretty much set up, right? Now Warrior of Light, you're going to notice, also has an overhead called Guardian Shield. He has that at quest start at 6 turns. So what it does is HP damage is 30% up while shields are active for himself, which is good. And then it has a lot of party buffs in it. So attack, max brave, and eye brave up, brave damage up, brave gains up, brave damage taken down, defense up, brave regen, which the brave regen will scale on the shields. So the stronger the shields, the stronger our brave regen is, right? And then while shield is active, we've got HP damage up, and we've got more HP damage reduction based on the shield value. It's very good. Like, yeah, very insane. So you want to keep that overhead going, and that overhead does come from the LD, right? So let's go ahead and do some more attacks with Garnet. Garnet, sure, we'll pop an LD with you. And what we're going to do in this video is we are going to feature, obviously, Warrior of Light's FR, so that's definitely the thing that we want to talk about. I think I'm almost to the point where I'd ramp into an FR. We'll do another just natural turn here, because Warrior of Light's pretty slow, right? It takes a while to get into his turns. We'll do an intercession here for fun. Shout out to 92 people watching the stream. We're making 100 kind of a regular thing over here. I appreciate all the support, you guys. That's great. Sure, we'll just do an HP plus. Okay. Let all this stuff go off. All right, we're going to get Warrior of Light. So next what I think I want to do is I think I want to show you his LD, so we can get that off. All right, watch this. Big attack coming. Look at that. The shields barely went down. We took no damage. Like, look at this. She's going to steal turns. This is showing the tanking, right? 0 damage. So basically what the overhead does is as long as our shields are, like, greater than the HP damage, we just reduce it. Like, it's 0. So, and you can see these shields were humongous. So, like, she just did that whole barrage of stuff that normally crushes us, and we just completely negated it with shields. Like, so Warrior of Light is a character that he will make you feel safer than probably any other character in the game. Like, he's very, very good at that, right? Well, that's right. I brought Luna Freya so I could maybe do that, but that's okay. So yeah, let's go ahead. I guess we could just pop the AA to get some extra stats. Sure, we'll take that. And then what we're going to do here is we are going to pop the LD. So this is called Bitter End. Let's see what the damage looks like here. All right, yeah, 1.3 with a little splash. I mean, if he's hitting over a mil on multiple buttons, like, we will definitely take that, right? We'll definitely take that. So this was another party battery scaled on Eye Brave. Notice I mean, yes, we've got Garnet Pinello here, but part of this is from Warrior of Light, but our Brave is just, like, capped constantly, right? Now, this is a very good Brave gain team. So, yeah, we can expect our Brave just to always be capped here. We did the big attack there on the LD. It does restore a skill use of his skill 1 and skill 2, which is very good. It gives us 15 turns of the Guardian Shield overhead. So that now we're really good for a long time. This is basically going to make it so as long as we got shields, like they can't HP damage us, they can't break us, like we're just so defensive right now, right? It does add the shield buff onto the party as well, and it does lock. So it pretty much, the LD does everything you want it to do. So you could just hit the LD turn 1 if you really wanted to. It would just throw everything on at once, but I just kind of wanted to show off those other attacks, right? All right, so Garnet, we can just Aquamarine. I think we are going to ramp into FR at this point. And then while I'm ramping, I am going to talk about his BT because I don't have it. I can't actually demo that for you. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to kind of start ramping here. But his BT is called Ultimate Shield. It does a huge Brave gain and then a big attack. Sure, we'll do this intercession in between. And then basically the burst effect is 8 turns. It's going to give the party Brave gains up, HP damage up, HP limit up, HP damage limit up. Overflow, and then Brave Regen, which is 100% of the shield value. So I think the big thing from it, like the stats are all good and everything, but getting the extra Brave Regen I think is very, very good, right? And then the AA that we used earlier, Resist All, it does do 20% Brave damage down. So if you combo that with the Brave damage he's already getting in his kit, comboed with the Gabrant Sphere, that's a lot of Brave damage reduction, right? So very, very good. And then it also has Brave Regen and Brave Gain, so the AA very good as well. All right, well, let's do one more ramp here, and then we're ready for FR. But yeah, our boy's showing off really, really good here. Sure, Ultimisa, you want to steal turns or do anything crazy? Please do. So we can just absolutely not take any damage. All right, so I'm going to hit the BT finally for Pinello. So the thing is all the good numbers that Warrior of Light's been putting up, this is without Pinello's BT effect. So now with Pinello's BT auras, like his numbers are going to shoot up. He's going to be able to hit harder. He's going to Brave gain better. All that. All right, so Warrior of Light, it is FR time for our boy. All right, so let's hit the FR. This is called Soul. Wait, did I? Oh no, it's not. I'm like, is it not echoing? But it's because we're not in it. It's not showing the right color. This should have echo on it. I'm pretty sure I equipped everything. All right, let's hit the FR here. Oh, comboed with Prish. I didn't even know that. I love Prish. I'm a big Prish fan here. All right, let's see what the damage looks like on this bad boy. All right, 2 mil AoE. That's a nice little force attack here. I could see that being a nice little AoE nuke later on. All right, so let's watch this. I'm going to talk about the FR, but I just want to watch, like, let's watch all this damage just get negated. Yeah, this is perfect. And look, we're getting 40% bumps. So we'll talk about it, but yeah, all of these attacks they're doing. All right, so the off turn kind of pushed them up. Let's talk about the force, okay? So Soul of Light, big AoE attack as we saw there. Party HP damage limit is going to be up as long as you have a shield. That's part of the force time effect. But the HP damage condition, so as long as you absorb or reduce Brave damage, is plus 40%. So Warrior of Light, because he gives the whole party shields, like that's for free. Like anybody that gets attacked, like you're getting 40%. Okay. And then if you do an action with shield on your own turn, you get 10% per ally with shield. So basically everybody's going to get this for free also because everyone's going to have shields. It's 30% for any action you take. And then if Warrior of Light attacks an enemy that is targeting him, it's another 20%. So Warrior of Light would get 50% on his own actions. So it would be 30% per shielded ally plus the 20. So Warrior of Light on turn will get 50. Allies on turn will get 30. Now you might say that seems low, but because we get the 40 off turn, we've seen how powerful off turn is. So if as aggressive as enemies are, they can take a bunch of turns and give us 40% every turn they take, right? So with Garnet now, sure, let's do an Echo here. Let's get the gauge up. Let's use this bad boy, this Echo, right? We got it. Let's incinerate Ultimisia. Alright, so you're going to notice this. Every time they attack us, we're getting a 40% bump. And then once you have Warrior of Light set up, he's so easy to play. It's like you're just pressing throw, buckler, and shield like in between, and you're just constantly refreshing your shields. There it was. Look at that. That HP attack, she had us pink for death, and we took 0 damage, and that's because of the overhead. Our shields were strong enough to cover the HP damage, so we just didn't take it. So once again, showing off so well how he protects us and just makes us safe. So I guarantee his Shinryu fight's going to be something pretty nasty and aggressive, and he's just going to negate it, right? Yeah, we'll Fatal Dance, sure. So this should be 30% because we have 3 shields. Yep, 30%. Perfect. All right, and then Warrior of Light. I mean, I want to Echo, but I'm going to save it. But let's do his EX Shining Wave. We haven't talked about that yet. So let's hit this button. Now, this damage is going to be exemplified because we're at 300%. Yeah, 4 mil AoE, though, at 300%. Pretty good damage. And yep, we got 50% just like I thought we would. So Shining Wave does a Brave gain, scaled on Eye Brave. This is what actually heals the party. So I didn't talk about this with him, but he actually does have healing in his kit. So he's tougher to use as like your only healer, especially if the fights are aggressive. But here's the thing. You can kind of get away with it because as you can see with the shields up, it's hard for the enemy to push HP damage through anyways. So you can almost think of it as like a backup plan if like they somehow get through your shields, they like maybe they debuff your shields off or something like that, then you've got heal to back it up. And then he gets a speed plus 50%, and this is an invisible kind of like aura. So he does get a speed up so he moves a little bit faster. Sure, let's do another Echo attack. Absolutely blow this thing up here. Okay, and I really want to get to another Warrior of Light turn, but yeah, we're going to let them do all this off turn. So once again, the one bad part about Warrior of Light is he doesn't counter, right? But you could run him with other counter characters. He would fit in really well with like a Gladio type setup because you can see here, getting the 40% bumps is good. Like, look at all the bumps we're going to get here. Now, unfortunately, we got the off turn that's going to keep pushing him back, but we had the improper break order, so that works out great. But look at how big the shields are, like over 130k. Like, they're not going to break through these. She's got 150k on her shield, and it's so easy to just refresh the shields. And we're just getting 40% bumps every time. Look at how quick our gauge is going up. And then, you know, putting Echo in with that, like, it just goes up so quick. We're getting to the point where I'm worried about Penelo one-shotting here. And because we're, like, literally if I Fatal Dance here, I think the cat is dead. So I'm actually going to Brave Attack because I do not want these enemies to die too quickly. I want to see more of Warrior of Light. Okay, that's unfortunate that we dodged. So that is an important thing to note. So I need to go and fix my summon board passives. Characters like Warrior of Light, especially, so before his FR, it didn't really matter if he dodged, and that's probably why I had it on. But now that he's got his FR, characters that want to get hit or rely on being hit for part of their kit to work, you don't want to give them any dodge passive. So I'm actually glad that happened. So I could remind you, I'll go into his summon boards, and I believe it's Rama and... is it Leviathan? I don't remember. Rama has one, and then there's another one somewhere on the summon board. But there's 2 evasion passives. You want to make sure you don't have those. So right as soon as I'm done with this video, I'm going to go fix that. So now with Warrior of Light, yeah, let's Echo. let's see, at 668%. This is an AoE Echo. How much damage is this going to do? It's going to be a lot. Oh boy, 15 mil. Yeah, dude, this boy is good. I will just say that right now. Sure, you want to cut an order and give me another 40%? Sure. That's if this off turn doesn't just kill you for 7 mil from Garnet. Okay, sure, take a bunch of turns, give us 40%. Like, we're going to be at cap, like, look at this. I love it. I love it. I love it. We have so many turns of force time. We could basically be doing the majority of force time at cap at this point. So if you, look at this, HP attack, 0 damage, doesn't care. That was pink, that was supposed to kill him. Doesn't matter. Shields negate. And dead on guarded off turn. Dude. I mean, you tell me if this boy is good or not. The thing is Echo is so powerful, I'm finding I can't even properly set up. Like, these bosses are just dying too fast. Like, I probably need to go into, like, a Spiritus fight or something ridiculous to show these characters off properly, but there you go. There's Warrior of Light. He's literally the ultimate tank. If you're a player that likes to be safe, like, this is definitely the guy to pull. He's going to keep you as safe can be. So let me know if you all like Warrior of Light. Thanks for watching. We'll catch you all on the next one.